It's been a long time coming for Charles Oliveira, who after 11 years in the UFC is finally getting his first title shot against Michael Chandler at UFC 262. Oliveira finally being in this position gives me hope. That may sound a bit dramatic, but it truly does restore a lot of my faith back into the sport that's been overcome with the pageantry of fight promotion over the years. In a time in the sport where the hierarchy of champions and contenders has been borderline thrown out the window, Oliveira has come in and earned his position to fight for the coveted UFC lightweight title purely on the merit of his performances. He isn't in this position because he's an entertaining character or because of heated rivalries or controversial things outside of the competition. He's gotten this position from putting on absolutely stellar performances against elite talent in both featherweight and the lightweight division over the years since day one under the UFC banner. People often forget that he's been on the cusp of a title shot on a number of occasions over the years. It's just one of those situations where right when he would get to the big fight that would put him over, he'd falter, whether it was taking a loss to Max Holloway, Frankie Edgar, or Anthony Pettis. But after making his return to the lightweight division back in 2017, things have been going his way, and after stringing together an 8-fight win streak in the most talent-rich division in the sport, and including an absolutely astonishing win over Tony Ferguson, he's finally being rewarded with the title shot. It's just a shame that he's very clearly the B-side of this matchup in terms of promotion. The guy's been in the UFC since 2010, has fought absolutely everybody under the sun, the who's who of 155. We've watched the guy grow up and mature in the octagon, witnessing his ups and his downs, watching him trip, throw, and slam, and strangle his opponents in a more entertaining fashion than pretty much any other fighter in the UFC. That exceptional technique is also carried over into his striking. He is the epitome of technique in mixed martial arts. And after 11 years of grinding and killing the best in spectacular fashion, promotional-wise, he's playing second fiddle to a guy who's fought in the UFC once and had to go through way less to make it to this title shot. That's not to disrespect Michael Chandler, though. I'm personally very excited about having him in the UFC, as it's something I never imagined would have actually happened. And there is no question the guy belongs amongst the elite at 155 in the UFC. And I'm not saying that his road wasn't difficult and that he didn't experience his own hardships. I'm just saying that in comparison, if there's anybody who should be the A-side for this title fight, it's Charles Oliveira. But of course, I completely understand it. Oliveira doesn't speak a lick of English, and I'm not sure I've ever even heard him try. Not only that, there isn't a whole lot known about him to the general fan base in general. But I reject the notion that he's not marketable, or that his story and his background wouldn't be interesting to the general fan base. Us longtime fans of the sport remember a time when the biggest stars of the sport had to speak through translators and through subtitles. Anderson Silva was the biggest name in the sport for years, and he said very little. It was his performances that did the speaking for him. There's no good reason why the new fans of the sport couldn't get into a fighter because of the bells and whistles having to be arranged a little differently. The less a fighter says outside of the cage, the more it accentuates the in-cage performances. Oliveira is an absolute joy to watch because he's a true technician through and through. He has beautiful striking. He keeps a very high guard like a traditional Muay Thai fighter, his chin super low, and has really active footwork, a high output of strikes, and always moving forward. His kicks are especially beautiful to watch because the technique is perfect. He's always feinting with his legs and throwing jumping knees and kicks. He moves with the elegance of a ballerina. And it's not that he has big power, but he has very diverse and dangerous striking. His record is quite deceiving because the vast majority of his stoppage wins come by way of submission. But when you go back and watch a lot of the tape, most of those fight-ending sequences start by him hurting his opponent with a crazy elbow, knee, or punch, and then he latches onto them with that ultra-aggressive, technically perfect jiu-jitsu and ends the fight in short order. Never mind his ground game. With so many fighters on the roster right now, it's easy to overlook, but simply put, he may just have the single most impressive BJJ skill set in the promotion right now. The seamless transitions between all positions, whether it be in a scramble, on his back, or in mount, watching Oliveira operate in the grappling realm is art. Go back and watch the timeline of his career that just came out on the UFC YouTube channel. It's just riddled with jaw-dropping submission victories, all of which he makes both beautiful looking and effortless. It's very satisfying to see Oliveira in the biggest fight of his career after all these years. With all due respect to Michael Chandler, it's Oliveira that's the A-side of this title fight at UFC 262. It's just that a lot of the audience doesn't know it yet.